At the same time, you have this really great action game that either rivals or surpasses any shooter come before it, and adds some subtle perks and additions to make the game that much more fun to play than your average run-of-the-mill shooter. The slow-mo meter is one of these perks. It works a lot like the bullet time seen in Max Payne, and if you've never played that game, slow-mo basically allows you to slow down time at any point in the game for a short period, creating some truly cinematic style to the gunfights. In addition, you also have access to a great selection of weapons that range from your standard combat shotguns and assault rifles to high-tech weapons like nail guns that can pin enemies to walls and particle beams that reduce enemies to mere smoking skeletons. The action in F.E.A.R. likely draws its influence from The Matrix and has some of the best elements from your favorite John Woo movies, which makes the game's action facets just as unique as its horror. The multiplayer in F.E.A.R. was obviously not the game's main thrust, but it is definitely worth mentioning and as far from tack-on as any multiplayer game can get. F.E.A.R.'s multiplayer supports 16 players on both the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions, and has a ton of replay value to the game with the same sort of fast-paced firefights you get from the single-player mode. It actually surprised me how well F.E.A.R.'s multiplayer stands out from other shooters because you'd think its thematic horror elements it would be difficult to craft an interesting multiplayer game. But F.E.A.R.'s multiplayer is beyond interesting, and it's just as fun or more than any other shooter you'll play. Overall, I'm scoring F.E.A.R. a 9, which is extraordinary. Unlike a few games I've reviewed, I'd say F.E.A.R. barely scores a 9, but manages to hold itself together just well enough to merit such a score. This is mainly because of its originality and unique sense of style and design. Its age and dated graphics in today's market might concern some people, but even with those trivialities in life, F.E.A.R. remains one of the most intense action horror games you'll ever experience, and in more than a few ways, it definitely lives up to its name.